Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm doing something new. I'm actually going to just write out our budget, our monthly budget, and start documenting that. I really wanted to, one, stay accountable of just our expenses and everything, and two, I just thought it was something fun that I could do. I like watching videos of people plan, and their plan with me videos on YouTube, and so I figured let me do a budget plan with me, and I've seen those too as well, so figured I'll just do mine. So let's get started. Before I begin, I want to say that me and my family of 6, we are debt free. We follow the Dave Ramsey plan, and we became debt free May of this year, so May 2019. And we paid off close to $50,000, which included credit cards, student loans, personal loans, hospital bills. We also had a line of credit with our bank, 2 of those, 2 personal loans. So basically what Dave Ramsey would say is we were normal. We were the normal Americans, I guess you could say. So we definitely include our share of debt. We paid that off close to $50,000. So we're really excited about that. Right now we are on baby step 3A, if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey's baby steps. That is to fully fund your emergency savings, which is 1 month of expenses. And so if you're doing 3 to 6 months, he suggests about 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses. For me and my husband, we've both been employed with our employers for 10 plus years. And so our emergency savings that we had come up with is our amount is $15,000. And so in order to reach that goal, we knew we needed to stay focused and pretty much continue to do what we were doing when we were paying off debt, which was budgeting. Budgeting was our number one key. Budgeting and communication were the 2 things that I would say definitely helped us achieve our debt-free goal. And so I just figured I'm going to just go ahead and start documenting our budgets using real numbers. And the reason why, again, is just because I like to watch videos of plan with me or budget with me, and you have real people using their real income. And to me, that was inspiring because it helped me realize that, oh, not everyone makes, so much money. It's just how they utilize their income. And so that's what me and my husband decided that he's okay with me using our real numbers. And that's not to say we make a lot of money, because we don't. But it's just inspiring. It's to help inspire those that feel like, oh, I don't make enough. I'm low income. We can't do it. But I'm here to say, yes, you can. For a long time, when we first started, it was really just my husband's income. Even though I was working, I was just part-time, and I'm still part-time. I work 16 hours a week. But back then, my pay was very low, and I was in a position to where I didn't have to work all my 16 hours. And so really we were living off of one income. So I'm just here to say you can make things work, whether you're high income or low income. You can tweak your budget and your lifestyle basically to hit your goal. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got the Erin Condren Life Planner here, and this is my first time ordering something like this. In past years, when me and my husband started budgeting, it would just be on a notepad, which is totally fine. But I found it was just more fun, and because to be honest, sitting down and doing a budget isn't always fun, especially at the beginning, because you're kind of shocked with all your numbers of debt and how much income is actually coming in. And so that wasn't fun. But then I realized, I started seeing videos on YouTube with people decorating their planner and and doing their budgets this way, it made it more fun and more bearable too. So anyways, so this is why I got this year I ordered the Erin Condren Life Planner, and I'm not necessarily I don't really, so here's an example. So my October budget is yes, I've got a few stickers here just on the outside, but if you notice on the actual month, it's really just our bills, our payday, and our bills. And that's really what I focus on when I do plan in here. For as far as monthly is, I focus on my budget. That's really what type of planner I am. I'm a budget planner. So I will go into more detail. Obviously, like during the week, I have the hourly layout, which I love. But yeah, my monthly focus is on just like our paychecks and our bills that are due. So for the month of October, how we budget, well, first of all, our paychecks. My husband gets paid every single week, so that's why we have green on it every week. And then I get paid bi-weekly, and so these larger stickers represent when we have two paychecks that week. It's pretty simple when you first get started. Well, not when you first get started, but when you start, let me turn it this way. When you start doing it regularly, you find, okay, now I know what bills are due this week. But having a layout like this is fun too. So for example, October, which is pretty much next week, October 2019, we have, my husband will be getting paid that paycheck. So everything that falls after this day, anything here in these stickers needs to be paid with that paycheck, with just my husband's check. And so as you can see, we've got my gym membership, and I have my Love, Pray, Teach, which is a program that I use because I teach Sunday school. And then I have our car insurance. So all of this needs to be paid with this check. And those are just the bills that we have for that week. We also have our grocery budget, our gas budget, our entertainment and eating out, which I'll go into more detail of how much everything is and how much my husband gets paid. But this is just an example of what, how, like a visual, just a quick visual of, okay, these are the bills that are going to be paid, that need to be paid with this paycheck. And then same thing with the October 10th, it looks like it's both of us getting paid. And if you realize, we don't have any bills that week. That was the benefit of being debt free, is you don't have a lot of these line items that we used to have tons of line items. And as we started paying off debt, my monthly calendar looked like this. I mean, there was hardly any other bill or debt items that we had to pay. So just because we don't have anything due that week doesn't necessarily mean we're going to leave that money into checking. I'll tell you exactly where that money goes, because we are zero based budget. Sorry, I needed to figure that out. Zero based budgeters. So we take whatever money is in our account from our from our paychecks, and we tell our money exactly where to go. And so it's not just sitting there and we figure out, okay, well, that money can go somewhere else on a different check. So again, I'll go into more detail later. Same thing with this check, just my husband getting paid. But if you can see, we've got a phone bill coming up, and then Netflix, and then we come here, and then that's it for that week. And then we've got another paycheck here where both of us are getting paid and nothing's due there. So on the weeks that there's nothing due, obviously we still have to have food. We have to buy food to eat and gas. We also do entertainment for the week, but we also throw whatever's left over either to our sinking funds or our 5-month emergency savings, which I spoke about earlier. So that's where that extra money goes to, and then it zeroes out our budget. And then this last paycheck, it's my husband, and we've got rent due. We do not own a home, and that's why at the beginning of the video, I explained that we're in baby step 3A, because baby step 3B would be to have a 20% down payment for a home. And so that's what we're working on as soon as we have our 15,000 in our bank account. So let me get back to our actual budget. So when me and my husband have our budget meetings, I'm sorry if there's a glare. I'm trying to make it to where you can see without the shadow. Let me see if this will help. Nope. Oops. Okay, let me see here. Maybe making this lower. Okay, sorry, I had to adjust my lamp. And hope that, okay, that's a little better. But it doesn't want to stay up. Okay. It's definitely needs to be turned. Okay. Sorry about that. I just want you to be able to see our numbers. Okay, so when me and my husband have our budget meetings, it's always like 2 weeks before the new month, and we go over every check and how much he makes, how much I make, and what comes out of each check. That doesn't mean we only have a budget meeting once a month. We actually recheck in with our budget probably, I would say it's throughout the whole month, 3 times, just to make sure we're still on track with what we wrote down and we're still on track with our income and everything like that, or unexpected expenses come up. We just want to make sure we adjust our budget so that we're not having to ever go into the negative or having to borrow from our savings. So this is just a rough thing with our budget, and I'll write it down more legible on my planner. So again, October 3rd, that's just my husband getting paid. Now he is full-time, I'm just part-time. I'm less than part-time, so I don't have health insurance or anything like that. So my husband has all the health insurance with his company, and so his paychecks, all of the money, all of our health insurance comes out of his paychecks. Also our taxes, and then 401k. That's what we stopped. We both stopped contributing to our 401k when we were during our debt-free journey. And as soon as we became debt-free, us personally, we felt like we needed to go back and to contribute. So my husband is contributing 8% of his check into his 401k, and then I'm also contributing, I'm actually contributing a match of what my company matches is 6% into our checks. So with that in mind, the amounts that I write down on here is everything after taxes and after health insurance and 401k. So that paycheck, I'm just going to flip this way. That paycheck, that week, my husband will be bringing home $900. Okay, and then we've got, and if you can see, I kind of already started writing some of my budget, and then I realized, no, I want to video this. So I erased it before I finished. So we always pay tithes with our church, and it's always 10% of whatever my husband makes. And again, this number can fluctuate, but it's usually around 900, maybe a little more, but it's never less than 900. So the thing about budgeting is when you kind of know your hours, you get used to how much money you're bringing in on a weekly basis or on a paycheck basis. You'll get used to, okay, this is the actual number of what he'll bring home. And that's given if he works all his hours and he doesn't have a sick day or something like that. So we always pay tithing, and it's 10% of what we make, of what we get paid. So tithing, that's $90. We also have food. We are a family of 6, so it's me, my husband, and our 4 kids. and we budget $100 every week. Now that does change depending on if we need household items. We bump that up to $150, but we're really good at staying below $100 every week if it's just groceries. And then with household items, we are pretty good at staying at $150 as well. I know a lot of people on my Instagram would say, how in the world do you do that? Like, there's no way you can keep your budget at $100 or less for a family of 6. But there is a way. And I could do another video of our menu, of what we eat, and how we are able to keep our budget under $100 every week for groceries only. So then we have gas. And that is $60. And entertainment. And that is $60. Now, when we were doing our debt-free journey, entertainment is basically our, like, if we want to go out with the kids or if we want to eat out, that's what we put in our budget. When we were doing our debt-free journey, at the beginning, we didn't have any amount allocated for entertainment. And I think for us, that was our biggest mistake because we were not realistic with ourselves. And I know Dave Ramsey says you shouldn't be inside a restaurant unless you work there, which is true. But we kept during our debt-free journey, just for us to keep our sanity. And I mean, everyone's journey is different. But for us, we did need some kind of relief, some kind of reward. And so we did have a entertainment eat out budget. And it was $40 a week. Now, ever since we've become debt free, it's just recently, actually, we were debt free in May, and we kept our entertainment weekend money to $40, and we always stayed within our $40. But then me and my husband, we had another budget meeting, and we kind of talked about how we would like to do a little more with our kids during the weekend, and so that's why we bumped it to $20 more, so $60. Which I think is still great. Again, every budget's different. It's just whatever works for you and your family. As long as you were, hitting your goals and making things happen, I think having an entertainment/weekend budget is perfect. But that's just my opinion. So then I have my Love, Pray, Teach program, and that's $6. And then I have my gym membership. When we were doing our debt-free journey, I didn't have the Love, Pray, Teach program, and I didn't have my gym membership. Those are things that we had to cut in order to make our budget work, so that we were throwing as much money as we could towards our debt. And then ever since we became debt-free, I decided, okay, I'm going to go back to the gym and just work on myself, being happy and healthy, and which is fine because I don't, again, a lot of other budgeters or other people, they don't go to the gym, but they would use that money and probably go do their nails or pamper themselves, which is totally fine. As long as it works with your budget and the numbers add up, I think go for it. Then we've got car insurance, which is $65. This is our car insurance, including our renter's insurance. Again, we are renting, and so that includes our renter's insurance and car insurance. And then we have piano lessons for our older 2 girls. They just started this, but it's $70 a month for both of them. And then, why can't I see this? Oh, actually, I wrote down 50 because we overpaid last month. And so she gave us change back, and I just stuck the extra change in their piano lessons envelope, cash envelope. So really, we only need to pay 50 for next month. Okay, and then utilities. This number is definitely going to change. We doubt it's going to be this high, but just to be safe, we're going to put $400. We usually, so we live in a house and we're renting in the basement. It's a basement apartment, and the tenants that were upstairs, it was our family, they moved and so we used to split all the utilities in half. Now that they're gone, all the utilities are now under our name because no one's living upstairs right now. So all the utilities are now under us. So just to be safe, we budgeted for it to be 400. That could be less or more, but just to be safe, we put 400. So that's the end of that. Then we also have our emergency, and I just put EMS for emergency savings. And I'll leave that blank because I don't know how much we're going to have left over. So this is what we do. We say, my husband's usually, over on one end with his phone, and I'm on my end with my phone, and I'm the one writing things down, and he's got the calculator and calculating everything. So basically his paycheck is 900. Then we take away tithing, which is 90. Take away food, which is 100. Take away gas, 60. Entertainment / weekend money is 60. And then Love, Pray, Teach is $6. My gym, 22. Car insurance, 65. Piano lessons this month is 50, but it's usually 70. And then we've got our utilities, which could be less, but this week we just planned it to be 400 just to be safe. So our total ends up being $47 left over. So we will most likely put $40, could be more, into our savings depending on how much our utilities come out to. But right now we're just going to say it's 40, and then we're going to leave that extra $7 in there to be our buffer into our checking account. And from experience, we don't like to have any more than $40 left in our checking account because past experiences, it was too tempting for us to see the money in checking, and it was so easy for me to just jump on the internet and quickly order something that I felt like at the time I needed, but I didn't. So, and it wasn't in the budget. So we always like to make sure there's less than $40 in there, just so the temptation's not there. And again, some people don't feel like that's too low, and that's okay. It's your budget, so you put it how you do what's comfortable for you. But for us, we know that we're pretty safe to leave just $7 in there, and I'm sure actually right now there's probably $32 in our checking, so we'll be okay. Because all of our money we just leave all of our money in our savings and other bank accounts. Okay, going on. So we've got that. October 3rd is done. Now it's October 10th. Which is both me and my husband. We will be getting paid. Again, 900 is the absolute minimum after taxes and health insurance and everything comes out, but usually it's a little more than 900, but we like to be safe and just say 900. And then again, because we do that, we say just to be safe, we do our minimum. There's usually extra, so I know our emergency savings is going to be a lot more than $40, whether the utilities is actually 400. I know that there'll be more because we're just putting our minimum right here, so I know we'll be safe to put more. It's just we like to budget that way with his minimum. Okay, so 900 for him, and then I'm getting paid that week as well. And I'm pretty sure that week is my bonus. Yep, that week is my bonus. And so what I do at work is I do sale. I'm in customer service and I do sales. And so when I hit a certain amount, like our goal amount at work, I get a bonus. And so this check is going to have my $2,000. I have $2,500 coming on. That's just my bonus plus my regular check. Again, my regular check, I don't really work that often. I'm 16 hours a week, but right now I'm down to 14 hours. So as far as sales, I did really good, but my hours were not. So I'm pretty sure. So just to be safe, when we did our budget, we just put that taxes is going to eat up my regular check, and then I would just get my bonus. So we're just going to write that. If I had my regular check added, it would be definitely higher, but because my hours were really low last week and because this bonus is so high, I feel like they're going to tax us a lot. So just to be safe, we just put that we're just going to get my $2,500 on that check. Okay, so let's go on to what's due. What's due that check is obviously we pay our tithing every time we get paid. Oh my goodness, and I just actually realized that we have our fasting as well. So with our church, at the first Sunday of every month is something called fast offering, and so you put money that you would usually use to eat 2 meals, because those are the 2 meals that you and your family are skipping. So if you're not eating those 2 meals, you would use that money that you would use and put it towards fast. So ours would be $40. So actually, I'm going to leave our emergency savings. Obviously, it shows that our leftover, we're not going to have anything left over because we only had $47 and to begin with. And so because I added our fast offering, now, according to these numbers, we're only going to have $7 left into our emergency savings. So I'm going to leave this blank. Like I said, this is usually always more than $900. So I'm just going to leave that blank until that week of, and then we'll find out exactly how much our utilities were and then how much we have left over. So I'll leave that. But I will add that because that's something that we just always do. We always pay our fast offering and tithes. So this week, it's just tithing. Again, 10%. Turn on. Sorry, I have such a small calculator. I usually use my phone, but I'm using my phone to record. Okay, so my husband's check, $900 plus my check, $2,500. That's $3,400 total. So $340 for tithing that week. Okay. And then we've got food, which I know that we have household items here. So that's why our food is $150. And then we've got gas, and that's $50. Our gas fluctuates. It really just depends on what we're doing that week. So we'll look at our calendar on our phones and say, okay, what's coming up that week? And if we realize that, okay, we're going to be driving a lot, then we'll up our gas. But so for example, October 13th, our gas was 60, and I think it's because we're driving a little more. And then here, October 13th, our gas is 50, and that's usually how much we use. But just to be safe, we always add a little more if we know that we're gonna just plan ahead and just knowing that, okay, well, we know that we're gonna drive more, so we'll need more gas money. And so that's another example of something that we do. We plan ahead as far as gas as well. So then I've got kids payday. We have 4 children, and they all do chores. And so we pay them for those chores. And so, yeah, that's their paycheck. And they get paid bi-weekly like me. So when I get paid, they get paid. Then we also have Halloween costumes, which we budget $50. We're most likely not going to use that $50 because I usually go to the thrift store. So we have here in Utah, we have something called Desert Industries, and I always get their Halloween costumes from there for $3 each. But just to be safe, we just went a little higher because we don't like to not plan and then we don't have any money. So we plan for that. If we end up not using all of it, it just goes right into our emergency savings. So just kind of like how when we were paying debt, anything left over from any category went to our debt. But now that we're debt free, anything that's left over now goes into our emergency fund. So that's fun. Just seeing the money kind of grow and just sit there is nice. And then last month, my family was so excited that we added this line item, and it's service project. And so we knew this is something we wanted to start doing as soon as we became debt free. It's not a lot, I gotta be honest with you. Last month, to be honest, it was only $40 that we had budgeted, and we decided to. Well, the kids wanted to hand out some hearts and put some candy and stuff, and just hand them with some quotes saying, that you are loved and you're special, things like that, and then pass that out. That was $40 last month. This month it's $100, because we realize we do have a bigger check, so we can give more. So we would like this number to be higher eventually once we have our savings in place and everything else. We would like to see this number grow, but as of right, and to be honest, next month it might not be 100, it might be less. But this month we decided, okay, we'll just do 100 and plan to serve whoever we decide as a family to serve with that $100. So we're really excited about that. Okay, and then our last item, because on that, as you can see, there's no bills due. It's just tithing, our food, gas, kids' payday, Halloween costume, service project, and then what's left is our emergency savings. And so, go ahead and calculate that. Okay, so again, 900 plus the 25 equals 3,400. Take away our tithing, which is 340, and then our food is 150. Our gas is $50, and then our kids' payday is $28, and then our Halloween costumes $50, and then we have our service project $100, which is left. We are left with $2,682 right there, and that is gonna go into our emergency savings. So I'm gonna do 2,600, and we're gonna say $70. That way, $2,670 equals $12. That way there'll be $12 left over. Okay, so that's that week. And then we've got October 24th. I don't know if I'll fit everything in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 lines. Oh no, it's October 17th. Wow, how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 weeks in October. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.